Well, ladies and gentlemen, buyers, good morning and a very, very warm welcome to what is sure to be another very special Harcourts, Rata and Co auction here at number 220 Gordons Road in South Morang. My name is Robert Ozzimo. I proudly represent the company of Harcourts, Rata and Co, and I'm joined here today by some of my award-winning colleagues in blue. Should you require their advice, please feel free to approach either Ilya Menkonoski, Lou Menkonoska, Valley Razko, Rose Makovska, and of course Daniel Taylor and Mary Ali, who no doubt you've had the great pleasure of becoming acquainted with throughout the marketing campaign. Buyers, let me share with you now the following announcements which are in place to help you bid and buy with absolute confidence here today. The auction will be conducted in accordance with the rules and any additional conditions that remain available for inspection before the start of the auction. The auction rules prohibit an auctioneer from accepting bids or offers for property after the property has been knocked down to the successful bidder. The vendors have a reserve price as the auctioneer. I'll indicate bidders on request. The law prohibits false bids, prohibits major disruptions by bidders, and prohibits bidders attempting to prevent others from bidding, and provides for fines for such conduct. The rules permit for vendor bids, the words I'll use during the auction to indicate that I'm making a bid on behalf of the vendor are vendor bid, and by law only I, as the auctioneer, can make a vendor bid. The contract of sale has been on display prior to today's auction. We call for 10% deposit upon the fall of the hammer and the signing of that contract to take place here today, with the balance to be paid at settlement in up to 90 days time, at which time the vendor will provide the lucky buyer with vacant possession of the property. All in all, quite a straightforward contract. Everything is in there, everything is quite clear. Buyers, is with my highest recommendation what we offer for your consideration and competition here today. A great opportunity for the first home buyers among us, certainly a great opportunity as always for the investors, and an opportunity for you and your family today to bid, to buy this magnificent family home in this magnificent family location where we've got everything that you need to provide a premium lifestyle. Walking distance to schooling as close as across the road, plenty of parkland in the surrounding streets, walking distance to local shopping, everything you need right here in the heart of South Morang. Add to that a property that's been immaculately maintained by the current vendor, and you can buy with absolute confidence knowing that not only are you securing a great family lifestyle, but you're also securing your future through significant capital growth. So buyers, the opportunities before you now to get the sold sticker on the board. If that is your goal, right now's the time to do just that. Where can I see a fair and reasonable starting bid for 220 Gordons Road? Who'd like to start us off, buyers? I'm in your hands. I don't mind the call. Start me where you like. Always goes a bit quiet when I ask for a bit of money. I don't mind. It's an opportunity for me to get my voice back, buyers, but it's an opportunity for you to stake your claim, to mark your territory, to show every other potential competitor here that the keys are yours, that the keys do belong to you. So you've got that opportunity now, buyers, to start from a position of strength. Who'd like to start us off? I don't mind the call. I'm in your hands. I've had my say. Time for you to have yours. We're certainly here to sell. At 750,000, sir, you read my mind. I was thinking 750. Welcome and best of luck here today. At 750,000. At 750,000, fairly been offered. Bids here at 750 now. At 750,000, fairly been offered over here. Opportunity with you all. At 750,000 now for the first call. At 750,000, are we done? At 750 the bid for the second call at 750. 760. Oh, I heard that one first, sir. I'll take the 60, and you can say 70 if you like. At 760,000, the bid's there. 70, can I say? At 70 now. At 770,000, welcome to you both and best of luck. At 770,000, 3 in it now, sir. At 770,000 and 80 now got. At 780,000, the quick retort there at 8. At 780,000. At 780,000, fairly been offered. Perhaps round me off to 800, sir. At 780,000, haven't got about you, sir. 800,000, great bid. Big bids buy property. At 800,000, bids there. At 800, even money now. At 800,000, don't let it scare you off, it's just a round number. At 800,000, fairly been offered now. 800 the bid. At 800,000 now, even money once. At 800,000, are we done? At 800,000 for the second call at 810 now, and welcome back at 10. At $810,000 a bid now at 810, the bid's there, it's against you, sir. At 20 got. At 820,000, straight back in at 20. At 820,000, try a bigger bid, sir. At 820, the bid's behind. Opportunity with you, can I say 30 now? 25. I'm taking 10. If you bid twice, I'll take it, but it's got to be 10 in the aggregate. At 830,000, got now. At 830 the bid. At 830,000, bids there. 40, can I suggest? At 40 got. At 840 the bid now. At 840,000, bids back behind. Opportunity again in front. At 840 now. I'm taking 10, man, make it 50 in the rise. 850 now and welcome back at 50 at 850. Almost, sir, at 850,000. At 850,000 bids there, 850 the bid. At 850,000, first call at 850, we done. Second call at 60 now and welcome back at 860,000. I'm pleased to say, sir, that we are on the market. We are in fact selling here today, and more than that, sir, you've got the keys as it stands at 860,000 and the bids here at 860. Make absolutely no mistake about it. I'm not going inside. There's no halftime break here today. We're on the market. We sell 860. Bids there. Keys are there. If you've come to buy, you must bid me now or forever hold your peace, because we sell away at 860,000. Fairly been offered. Sir, now's when it counts. We're selling at 860,000. 65 will get you back in front. Can I say 65? 865. He bet you to it, so you've got to be a little bit quicker at 865. 70 is the opportunity though. At 865, welcome, sir. Great way to enter. Grab those keys. At 865, we're on the market and selling. If there's no better bid, you will be buying here today at 865,000 bids there. So you've been so strong the whole way through at 865. Surely we're not going to walk away for 5. I'll give you the same courtesy at 5 if you like. At 865,000 bids there. At 865 the bid. I won't take 500. I'll take 1,000 if it helps. At 865. 866 now, and the same courtesy at 1 if you like at 866. Perhaps round me off tonight to 70, sir. 870,000. 867 now at 867. A slight correction there at 867, but you can get me to 870 now at 75, and that's better at 875. At 875 and the bids there, 875,000. Sir, it's just a big bid. You can make one too, I'm sure of it. At 875,000 the bids there. Can I get you in for 80, sir? 875 the bid, 875, fairly been offered, bids there, keys are there, we're selling here today, 875,000 at 77 now, at 877, how about 80, sir, in the rise, at 877,000 and the bids back here, at 77, as are the keys, at 78, at 878,000, at 878, are we done over here, man? Yeah. Definitely done, thank you very much for your bidding here today. Sir, how about you? 79, 80 if you like, sir. 879 now. 879 with Mary at 879. Value against your buy there. At 879,000, I'll circle back. At 80, got. At 880,000 now. At 880,000, bids there, keys are there. Got to dig deep now if you want to buy, sir. At 880,000, we're on the market. We sell once at 880,000. I won't take 500, I'll take 1. At 880,000, second call. 881 now. At 881,000, can I confirm that? 881. 882 now. At 882. At 882,000, fairly been offered. Have you just 85 from a great way to enter again at 885,000. So you work so hard to get yourself in pole position. Surely we have to test their resolve. At 885,000, bids there, keys are there. Can't let them buy with one bid here today. So got to make them work for it. At 885,000, the bids there, keys are there. We sell once at 885,000. Are we done? 86. 86. I'm not taking 500 value. It's got to be 1 at 886, at 87, at 887,000. It was a great bid, but it just wasn't enough here today. Can you give me a second? At 887,000, the bid's there, the keys are there. Is that a nod? Is that a bid, sir? At 800, if you nod your head, I'm going to take your money every time. At 887,000. At 887,000, bids there. 890 now, and that's better. At 890,000. 890 the bid. At 890,000, fairly been offered, bid there. Opportunity here and with you, sir. Haven't got about you, sir. You haven't told me you're out just yet, so do hold out some hope. At 890,000, the bids here, the keys are here. We sell at 890 now. First call at 890,000, done at 91 and welcome back at 91. At 891,000, at 891 and the bid's back here at 891, at 891,000. Sir, can I suggest we be absolutely bold? Take me to 900. It's usually those round figures that scare the competition off. 895, well, we're inching closer. At 895,000, at 895 and the bid's there. 900 beckons now, sir. At 895,000, rip it off like a Band-Aid. Tell me 900 in the rise. At 895, we've got first call at 895,000, done. At 96, at 896 now. I'll ask the same question of you, sir. At 896,000, can you get me to 9? 98. At 98. You're just toying with me now, sir, at 898. 898,000, 900 surely. At 898,000, might be the mental barrier for the competition. If it is, you want to get there first. At 898,000, first call at 898, done. At $900,000 even money. Now don't tell me it was your mental barrier, sir. At $900,000 it's just a round number. Don't let it scare you off. At $900,000 the bid's there. I'll take one if it helps, but a big bid's better at this stage. At $900,000 even money now. At $900 the bid. Are we done over here in the centre? At $900,000. You still with me, sir? At $900,000, fairly been offered bid here. Opportunity both sides. And with you, sir, they tell me they're out there. At $900,000, fairly been offered once. At $900,000, done. Second call at 902 now. At 902, and we're back here at 902. At 902 and 3. At 903, I thought you weren't quite done just yet, sir. At 903,000. Opportunity back with you with a quick retort at 1. At 903,000, fairly been offered. What do you say? 905? At 905 now. At 905,000. At 905,000. Bid back here now at 905. Sir, you've gone awfully quiet on me. You're still with me now. At 905,000. Bid there. Keys are there. We sell here today. At 905,000. First call at 905. Done. Second call at 906, at 906,000, welcome back at 6. At 906,000, fairly been offered, bid there, opportunity back with you. Keys are there though. At $906,000. At 906,000, fairly been offered now, 906 the bid. At 906,000, fairly been offered over here at 6. At 906, we're on the market, we sell at 10 now, and a great bit at that. At 900, is that 10 on top, sir? 916. I'm just wired to always calculate the higher number, but I'll work with you here at 910,000. At 910,000, the bid's there. At 910, the bid. At 910,000, fairly been offered now at 910. At 910,000. At 910,000, you can make it 911 if you like. At 910,000, fairly been offered now. At $910,000, the bid. I'll take in one. 911, 911, sir, it's an emergency, you're going to miss out, the keys are here. At 13 now, at 913, emergency averted. At 913,000, at 913,000, bid back there at 913 now. At 913,000, fairly been offered. At 913 the bid, bid's there, keys are there. What do you say? I'll give you a moment to think about it and circle back, sir. We're done over here?
No.
You're not done? At 913,000, can I get you back on top? At 913, there's no further bid and I'll sell over there. At 913, at 15 now, and welcome back at 15. At 915,000, fairly been offered over here at 915 and got the keys. At 915, what's the bid, sir? 16 now, 916. At 916, see we got there in the end at 916. At 916,000, bid back here at 16, back against you, sir. At 916,000, are we done over here, sir? At 916, the bid. At 916,000, fairly been offered at 916, bid there, keys are there, we're on the market, we sell at 916. At 917, at 917, and welcome back at 17. At 917, inch by inch we go, brick by brick we build. At 17 I have. At 9, I'm not taking half, make it 1, 918. At 918, at 918 now. At 918,000. At 918,000, the bid's there at 918. At 918,000, take me to 20 if you like. At 918, sir, you still with me now? 19 now. At 919, 20 if you like. At 20 you got. At 920,000. At 920,000, bids back there. Keys are there now. At 920 the bid. Can I say 21? I'll be bold and give me 25. At $920,000 the bid now. What do you say? In or out? At 920,000. At 22, welcome back at 22. At 922 the bid. At 922, at 25 now, at 925 and a great bit at that at 925,000 bids there. 9 1/4 now. First call at 925, all done. Twice at 925,000, done and finished.
27.
At 27 now, at 927,000. How about 30, sir? Ma'am, at 927. 8 now, 928. At 928,000 now, fairly been offered, bid there, keys are there, we're on the market. At 30 now, and welcome back at 30. At 930,000. At 930,000, bids back there. If you say you're out, we'll let them keep the keys. At 930,000. At 930,000, make it 31. At 932, even better at 932. At 932,000, fairly been offered, 932 the bid. At 932,000, bids there, keys are there, we sell here today at 932,000. Once at 932, done. Second call at 932,000, done, finished. Third at 34 now, at 934, at 934 and 35, the quick retort again, at 935, at 935,000 fairly been offered now here, at 935, bids here, keys are here, we sell here today, got to dig real deep now, at 37, at 937 the bid at 937,000, at 937,000 bid there, opportunity still with you at 40 and a great bid, at 940,000, at 940,000 fairly been offered at 940 the bid. So you're still with me or are you out? At 940, you're definitely done. Yeah. Thank you very much for your spirited bidding here today. At 940,000 bids there, keys are there, seeking instructions over there. So we're done over there. Done. Thank you very much for your bidding here today. At 940,000 fairly been offered now for the first call at 940. Done. Second call at 940, at 941, at 941,000. The best response to a small bid is always a big one. I won't do 500, I'm not that cheap, Rose, at 941. At 941.42 we'll get you back on top though. At 941 the bid's there. At 42 now, at 942,000. At 942,000, fairly been offered now at 942. At 942,000. At 942,000, fairly been offered now at 942. The bid's there, the keys are there. We sell. 500. I won't do 500 at 942. If I do, he'll kill me because I didn't take his. At 942,000, it's got to be one. At 943. At 943. At 943,000, bid back there. 45 now at 945. Or is that 5 on top? No? Okay, I thought I'd try for a second time. At 945, at 945,000, fairly been offered now at 945. How about 50, sir? At 945,000, we're on the market. We sell 945 the bid once at 945. Won't take 500, I'll take one. Twice at 945. 46. At 46 now at 946. At 946 and the bid's back there. So are the keys at 946. At 946,000 fairly been offered now. At 946,000, how about take me to 50? At 946 I have. At 946 and the bid's there. Opportunity with you now at 7 got. At 947. At 947,000 fairly been offered now. Bid there. Opportunity with you. Need to know. Point here into the auction. This is where it counts. As I said, if you come to buy, you have to bid me now. If ever hold your peace at 947. The bid's here, the keys are here. If there's no further bidding, we'll sell at that, and 50 we've got at 950,000. At 950,000, bid there. Won't take 500, got to be one. At 950,000. At 950,000, fairly been offered now at 950. The bid, make it 51 in the rise. At 950,000, fairly been offered at 950. 500 bids easy to respond to. Make it hard for the competition, and 2 now at 952. At 952,000, bid back there now at 52. At 952. Are you absolutely sure? You've been so strong, just like that. We're done. Are we absolutely sure? I will circle back. I'll tell you what, I'll count to 3. I'll come back and I'll check one more time before we sell. Good news, they tell me they're out, but I've got to go through the motions. At 952,000. First call at 952. Done. Second call at 952,000. Done and finished. Third, final call at $952,000 the bid. All done. All finished, silent and out. Was that a bid, sir? Oh, well, you're delaying the process, sir, 952. Definitely done here, done over here, done here. Sir, tell me one more time you're out and I'll sell. You're definitely done at 952.
Are you doing 500?
I'm not doing 5, I'll take one. 952, make it 953. And 952, are you absolutely sure? You done? Tell me you're out. At 500, sir. Really, you want to bid 500? You done? Absolutely sure. 952, happy for me to sell over here. First call, second call, third, final call at 952,000. Done, finished, silent out at 952. Bids here, keys are here, yes or no, need to know. We're selling. At 53 now, at 953,000. Sir, I promise you I'll do the same for you when I sell your place and get you every single cent that I can at 55, at 955, at 955,000. Definitely done now, we're absolutely sure now. That's confirmed your decision at 955. Bids here, keys are here. First call at 955, done. Second call at 955, done and finished. Third, final call, 955 the bid, all done, finished, silent and out. We're selling. Selling! Selling! Sold! Congratulations, well bid. Please join me congratulating our purchasers and our vendors here today. You've just witnessed another successful Harcourts Rata and Co auction. Have a great weekend. We'll see you again soon. Thank you.
I'm gonna cry.
Congratulations, mate. Well done. Well bid. Well bid.
Thank you.
Congratulations.